Thanks for making News Channel 5 #1 all day yesterday.
Tonight, as gas hits another record high, Congress demands an answer from big oil.
Where does this end?
But your own pension plan may be partly to blame for what you're paying at the pump. I'm Katie Couric. Also tonight, the high cost of fuel may force you to travel light. American will now charge to check even a single bag, and other airlines may follow. Senator Kennedy, battling brain cancer, leaves the hospital.
I'm doing good. I'm doing well.
And finds comfort where the Kennedys often have, at sea. And it's the most popular show on TV, but does it lead to stardom or oblivion?
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Good evening, everyone. Well, the only thing rising more rapidly than the price of gas is the blood pressure of drivers who have to pay for it. We'll spin the latest records for you. Oil topped the charts today at more than $133 a barrel, double what it was just a year ago. And gas is selling for a nationwide average $3.81 a gallon. Everyone is asking what's going on. Anthony Mason went on a search for answers.
As the price of crude set another record in the trading pits,
You solemnly swear.
executives of the major oil companies were raked over the coals again in Congress.
Where does this end?
Chevron made $18 billion last year as gas prices soared.
We have to explain to our families and friends what's going on with.
How do you explain your profits?
So the way I explain, I explain my profits by saying we reinvest it all. So, I mean, what we're doing...
Oh, really?
ExxonMobil made a $40 billion profit last year, but an executive claimed the company was only making 4 cents on the dollar.
The point is, it's not our profitability in this business that's driving the higher price that consumers pay.
The issue is who's driving up the price, and that's not the oil companies.
Hedge fund manager Michael Masters blames it on a new class of speculators led by pension funds and university endowments, which are buying up huge amounts of oil, nearly 850 million barrels more a year than they did just 5 years ago. That nearly matches the growth in Chinese demand, which is often blamed for rising crude prices.
We really feel like that the price would be, $50 or $60 lower if it wasn't for these investors' collective actions.
The Saudis agreed last week to pump 300,000 more barrels a day.
It will make no difference at all in my mind.
But oil trader Ray Carbone says nothing is stopping the momentum.
In your view, we're only going higher?
Short of a global recession, there is not much to make the price of oil go back to the old-time level.
Oil prices are still so hot that one analyst has even forecast that crude could reach $200 a barrel within 2 years.
$200 oil would push the price at the pump to more than $7 a gallon. If that happens, we're all going to need to drive an armored truck full of cash just for a fill-up. Anthony Mason, CBS News.
Not only are we paying our own higher fuel bills, we're helping businesses pay theirs, like the airlines. Today, the nation's largest announced new fees, and you can be sure other airlines will be right on Americans' tail. Here's Nancy Cordes.
$3 billion in unexpected fuel costs would blow anybody's budget. Now, American Airlines says it has no choice but to start dropping domestic flights.
This is a very big pullback in capacity. 11 to 12% is one of the largest single steps we've ever seen.
The move will allow American to lay off thousands of workers, retire 45 to 50 gas-guzzling older jets, and eliminate some bargain basement fares.
I know they're going to have to make up some money somewhere, and it's either raise the price of the ticket or they're going to have to charge for the extras.
And they will be charging more for everything. Just 1 month after American and others announced a $25 fee to check a second bag, American now says it will have to charge $15 for the first bag.
$15 seemed kind of steep right off the bat, especially just to set a bag over on an airplane.
And because the airlines follow each other's leads, first bag fees are sure to become the industry standard.
This is not nickel and diming. This is survival for the airline.
American has not yet said which routes it is going to cut, but it is inevitable, Katie, that travelers in some cities are going to find they have to contend with fewer options, not to mention higher prices.
All right, Nancy Cordes at Reagan National Airport. Nancy, thanks. Now the latest on Senator Edward Kennedy. One day after the announcement that he has brain cancer, another surprise. He left the hospital for his home on Cape Cod. Jeff Glore is there.
Ted Kennedy walked out of Mass General at 10 a.m. wearing a patch on his head where doctors took a biopsy of his tumor, and a smile on his face. He waved to the crowd. First scheduled to be hospitalized through Thursday, Kennedy pushed to leave sooner and got his wish. With his relatives and his dogs, it was off to the family compound on Cape Cod.
Thank you. How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing well.
He was with those dogs 5 days ago when the seizures began, leading doctors to diagnose what's called a malignant glioma, a tumor that medical experts say usually grows very quickly and is almost always fatal within 1 to 5 years. On the grounds here, he walked arm in arm with his wife Vicky and wasted little time getting in his boat for a sailing trip this afternoon. In good times and bad, this is where the Kennedys retreat. JFK once said it's the only place he could truly be alone.
The Cape is a very special place to Senator Kennedy and his wife and family, and they're drawn here just as his brother was so many years ago.
Nearby, visitors stopped at the Family Museum in Hyannis to sign a book of well wishes.
I've watched these boys. I'm 62 years old, and I went through a presidency, and I watched one brother go. I watched another brother go, and I'm not ready to see this brother go.
The Kennedys say the current family patriarch is determined to fight, with no plans to retire. For a family that's been through what seems like too many wrenching experiences to count, it's another fight they'll face with the world watching.
The Kennedys have been in the public eye for more than 100 years in Boston, and this is what they do. They know how to handle very private things in a public way.
Kennedy actually drove by our vehicle not too long ago. Kennedy was driving by, and when asked if he had a good sail today, he said, "You bet," and gave a thumbs up. As for the next course of treatment, it has not been decided. For now, he's just spending time at home. Katie?
All right, Jeff Glore. Jeff, thank you very much. As Jeff just mentioned, Kennedy, who is 76, has a malignant glioma, not curable, but it is treatable. Bill Whitaker now on what may lie ahead for the senator.
Dr. Keith Black, one of the foremost brain surgeons in the country, says malignant brain tumors are difficult for patients to comprehend, even more difficult to treat. For Senator Kennedy,
I think the next treatment would include radiation therapy, which would take place over 7 weeks, and then they would do chemotherapy.
But largely because of cutting-edge research by Dr. Black and his team at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, where he's chief of neurosurgery, some patients with malignant brain tumors can now measure their survival in years instead of months.
We're going to fight this.
Yes, sir, we are.
He's created an arsenal to attack what he calls the enemy. We first met Dr. Black 10 years ago when he was starting to test a brain cancer-fighting vaccine he'd developed, made of proteins from the patient's own tumor. It's now in its second round of testing around the country, including at Massachusetts General, where Kennedy was treated.
In 60% of the patients that get the vaccine, we can activate their immune system to recognize their tumor and mount a fight against a tumor.
Significantly boosting survival rates. A decade ago, only 8% of patients survived 2 years. Today, with the vaccine, 42% of patients do. One has survived 10 years.
I do think that that would be one of the possible options that could be available for the senator.
Another Dr. Black discovery, that drugs for erectile dysfunction, like Viagra, actually help chemotherapy drugs penetrate the blood-brain barrier, the body's protective shield around the brain. It helped blast Eddie Michael's tumor 2 years ago.
That allows me to lead my life normally.
In the future,
we will begin to see much better survival and potentially cures for our patients with this devastating disease.
For now, the best he can give them is some more time and some more hope. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And there is much more CBS News ahead, including the American Idol mystery. Why do so many of the winners bomb as recording stars? But up next, Barack Obama looks ahead to the fall and what could be a red-hot battle under the Florida sun.
Now you can whiten and do something more for your smile. Introducing Crest White Strips Daily Whitening Plus Tartar Protection. It protects against tartar buildup and whitens with just 5 minutes a day. Crest White Strips Daily Whitening Plus Tartar Protection.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles with 2 different gels for softness and support are outrageously comfortable.
I'd rather walk anyway.
Are you gelling? Dr. Scholl's.
Try a bowl of Trail Mix Crunch cereal and start your day with the great taste of Trail Mix. It's sure to wake up the trailblazer in you. The trail starts here.
If you've had a heart attack caused by a completely blocked artery, another heart attack could be lurking, waiting to strike. A heart attack caused by a clot, one that could be fatal. But Plavix helps save lives. Plavix, taken with other heart medicines, goes beyond what other heart medicines do alone to provide greater protection against heart attack or stroke and even death by helping to keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots. Ask your doctor about Plavix, protection that helps save lives.
If you have a stomach ulcer or other condition that causes bleeding, you should not use Plavix. When taking Plavix alone or with some other medicines, including aspirin, the risk of bleeding may increase. So tell me before planning surgery. And always talk to me before taking aspirin or other medicines with Plavix, especially if you've had a stroke. If you develop fever, unexplained weakness, or confusion, tell me promptly, as these may be signs of a rare but potentially life-threatening condition called TTP, which has been reported rarely, sometimes in less than 2 weeks after starting therapy. Other rare but serious side effects may occur.
If you take Plavix with other heart medicines, continuing to do so will help increase your protection against a future heart attack or stroke beyond your other heart medicines alone. You may be feeling better, but your risk never goes away. Help stay protected. Stay with Plavix.
So, Hotels.com gave you a free night this Memorial Day, huh?
Yeah, but that's Hotels.com. Doesn't mean you automatically get a good review.
Get a free night this Memorial Day. Welcome to Hotels.com.
Now to politics. He still hasn't locked up the Democratic nomination, but Barack Obama now has a majority of the delegates voters will choose this year. He leads Hillary Clinton by nearly 200 delegates and is just 70 short of what he needs to become the nominee. With only 3 primaries left, Obama was looking ahead to November, campaigning today in what's sure to be a key battleground state. Here's Dean Reynolds.
Obama's first concerted campaigning in Florida drew lots of attention.
How's it going, Tampa?
15,000 were on hand in Tampa.
We can't afford to wait, Tampa. We can't wait to fix our schools. We can't wait to fix our healthcare system.
Turning increasingly toward the general election, Obama is well aware of the importance of Florida's 27 electoral votes and that they won't come easy.
You know, a candidate that has often struggled to win Jewish support, Hispanic support, and seniors is not exactly tailor-made for Florida.
5% of Florida's voters are Jewish. Traditionally Democratic, they've expressed concerns about Obama's commitment to Israel. 15% of Florida's voters are Hispanic, and they've been a hard sell for Obama elsewhere. As have seniors, who were 27% of the voters here 4 years ago.
Obama's got a lot of work to do in the state.
And John McCain has not been standing still. McCain enjoys more support among Hispanics than many Republicans, and Tuesday he was working the influential Cuban-American community.
Make no mistake, Cuba is destined to be free.
And castigating Obama's willingness to deal with America's enemies.
These steps would send the worst possible signal to Cuba's dictators.
Nor does it help Obama to have Hillary Clinton campaigning down here at the same time, reigniting the debate over whether to seat Florida's convention delegates and reminding voters just how upset they should be about it. Dean Reynolds, CBS News, Kissimmee, Florida.
Jeff Greenfield is our senior political correspondent. Jeff, we've been talking and hearing a lot about Obama's challenges attracting a particular voting bloc.
Yes, you're talking about those white working class voters. And
And there are interesting things to keep in mind. First, Democrats don't need to win that vote. In fact, they almost never do. The last Democrat to win the white vote in general was Lyndon Johnson in 1964, who beat Barry Goldwater 59-41. But when white working class men in particular desert in droves, when Al Gore loses them by 25 points, when John Kerry loses white working class men by 15 points, that's when states like Michigan and Pennsylvania get in jeopardy and Ohio get lost. The second thing is this whole term is a vast oversimplification. White working class voters in union households vote strongly Democratic. Appalachian voters have been trending Republican for many years. So the idea that it's one great group is quite wrong, I think.
All right. Also, they're not monolithic. And it's really hard, Jeff, to predict, because of how they voted in the primaries, what will happen in November, because there's so many variables, right?
Yeah, I think that's a fool's errand, in fact. Apart from the fact that people who vote in primaries tend to be more likely to vote for that party, just think about this. About 35 million voters have participated in Democratic primaries and caucuses. In 2004, 122 million people went to the polls, and we're going to have a lot more this year. So if Clinton campaigns for Obama, does that bring her votes back to him? If the Republicans hit Obama hard, much harder than Hillary Clinton has, will that turn off white working class voters? Put the crystal ball in storage. We can't know until November.
All right, good advice. Jeff Greenfield, thanks so much. Coming up next, the war on cancer. Why it takes so long and costs so much to get new drugs on the market.
Like that's ever gonna happen. Make sure you're protected with Tena Serenity's bladder weakness products. Tena, real protection for real life.
Need relief from constipation? Take Dulcolax and sleep on it. Dulcolax gives you gentle, effective relief overnight, while its comfort coating protects your stomach, so you feel like your natural self in the morning. Dulcolax, gentle, predictable relief.
Steaming. It's never been used like this before.
When Healthy Choice challenged us to create the freshest tasting meals possible, we used an innovative way of steaming to create cafe steamers.
This unique steam cooker from Healthy Choice
lets you lock in all the naturally fresh flavors by steaming it yourself. For juicy chicken, crisp vegetables, and firm pasta.
And you pour the sauce.
For restaurant-inspired recipes steamed fresh in your microwave, try Healthy Choice Cafe Steamers. It's all about the choices we make.
Change it up a bit, and you're sure to get a reaction. Don't let erectile dysfunction slow things down. Viva Viagra! Viagra, America's most prescribed ED treatment, can help you enjoy a more satisfying sexual experience. To learn more, cruise on over to Viagra.com. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Don't take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease in vision or hearing. Now's the time to get moving and ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you.
Next at 6, a 2-year-old boy falls headfirst down a well outside a church day school. We'll update the child's condition and how a minister came to the rescue.
A teen charged with raping a fellow student on board a school bus faces his accuser in court. Why the judge made a surprising ruling after hearing the testimony.
And our hidden camera investigation into scams preying on immigrants looking for a path to citizenship.
We've had a beautiful day. Now, what about the clouds developing to the west? When will they get here? I've got the forecast coming up at 6.
Every single day, more than 1,500 Americans die of cancer. That's more than 500,000 every year. Many cancer patients are waiting desperately for new treatments, but on average, developing just one new cancer drug costs more than $1 billion, and it can take years. Tonight, in collaboration with Business Week magazine, we investigate why. Dr. John LaPook has the second part of our series, The War on Cancer, Where We Stand.
Dr. Oleg Laran is filled with hope. Soon, he'll have a new treatment to offer his kidney cancer patients, a vaccine designed to stimulate their immune systems to fight the disease. There's just one catch.
Of course, it is a breakthrough.
The only place that cancer patients can get this treatment is here, in Russia. Why? The reason has to do with the way the FDA approves cancer treatments. The vaccine was tested in a 5-year clinical trial, but there was no statistical evidence that it helped patients live longer. However, Antigenics, the vaccine maker, looked at a group of patients in the trial who received the vaccine when their cancer was in its early stages. This group seemed to benefit. On average, it increased the time before their cancer returned by almost 2 years. That was good enough for Russia, which approved it in April. And the company plans to submit it for approval in Europe soon. But for it to be considered in the U.S., the FDA would require a whole new trial.
What would it cost you in time and money?
Another 7 years and probably about another $400 or $500 million.
So can you do that?
We can't do it. And neither would anybody else.
Garo Arman founded Antigenics 14 years ago, one of many small biotech companies with big ideas about treating cancer. He believes the FDA drug approval process is too costly and inflexible.
We're driven by the fact that drug works, and it is our moral and other obligation to make sure that we reach patients.
But before any new cancer drug reaches patients in the U.S., it must first pass the review of this man. Dr. Richard Pazder is one of the most powerful and controversial officials at the FDA.
If you took this job basically to make people happy, this is not a job to make everybody happy.
He's become a lightning rod for criticism by cancer advocates who say the FDA is too slow to approve new therapies.
It's an irrational accusation that is made that we're sitting here somehow plotting against the pharmaceutical firms or plotting against a particular drug.
Pazder says he holds cancer drugs to a simple standard. Do they work?
We have to be confident that this is a real drug, that it works for the American public.
But is the system working? Although the number of drug approvals has gradually risen over the last 20 years, from 1990 to 2006, only 8% of experimental drugs were approved, a total of just 32 new cancer medications. Not good enough for Kathy Giusti, diagnosed in 1996 with a blood cancer called multiple myeloma. Doctors told her she wouldn't live to see her children grow up.
I remember calling my sister and saying, Karen, I am a fighter. I'll fight this, but there's nothing to fight with.
So she fought back by creating a myeloma foundation that runs like a business. Researchers, who are usually competitive, now have to share information in order to get funded.
We've had 4 new drugs approved by FDA in the last 4 years. That's unheard of in oncology.
Those very drugs have helped Kathy stay alive.
I want to be there every moment for them because I don't know if that may be the last time I see a moment like that.
Kathy Giusti's been successful because she's learned to work the system, demanding better cooperation among researchers, drug companies, and the FDA. Katie?
She's an amazing person, John. Thank you
is.
so much. For more, you can go to cbsnews.com and click on CBS Evening News, where you'll also find a link to our collaborators' Business Week magazine. Tomorrow, tiny particles that could revolutionize the way cancer cells are being targeted. Coming up next, though, one of these singers becomes an idol tonight, but becoming a real star, infinitely harder.
Tomorrow, new hope for cancer patients, nanotechnology, how this exciting new science is changing the war on cancer. Tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
How can you know for sure that Activia yogurt from Dannon really works? Take your pick. You can ask one of the millions of Americans who already eat Activia every day, or you can check out any one of the multiple clinical studies that have been conducted. Just log on to Activia.com.
With the natural culture Bifidus regularis, Activia eaten every day is clinically proven to help regulate your digestive system in 2 weeks.
Or you could try a more enjoyable research methodology.
For years, low-dose aspirin has been a cornerstone of heart attack prevention. Now there is something even more advanced. Ask your doctor about new Bayer with Heart Advantage, the only low-dose aspirin product that not only helps lower the risk of heart attack, but also has phytosterols, proven to lower cholesterol. Aspirin is not appropriate for everyone, so be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin or modify an aspirin regimen. New Bayer with Heart Advantage. More protection for your heart.
Tired of another sleepless night? For help falling asleep and staying asleep, there's 2-layer Ambien CR. The first layer helps you fall asleep fast, but unlike other sleep aids, there's a second layer that helps you stay asleep. Until you know how ambient CR will affect you, you shouldn't drive or operate machinery. Be sure you're able to devote 7 to 8 hours to sleep before being active again. Sleepwalking and eating or driving while not fully awake with amnesia for the event have been reported. In rare cases, sleep aids may cause severe allergic reactions, such as swelling of your tongue or throat or shortness of breath. If you experience any of these behaviors or reactions, contact your doctor immediately. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. It's non-narcotic and can be taken for as long as your prescriber recommends. However, like most sleep aids, it has some risk of dependency. Don't take it with alcohol. Ask your prescriber about Ambien CR for a good night's sleep from start to finish.
Nasal allergy symptoms like congestion can occur at any time, and it's hard to avoid the things that cause them. Prescription Nasonex helps relieve nasal allergy symptoms, like congestion. Maybe that's why 6 million nasal allergy sufferers used Nasonex last year.
Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
For more information, talk to your doctor and ask if Nasonex is the one for you.
Well, how y'all doing? Is that a rib there on your plate? Under the finest sauce I ever ate. I need one right now and don't make me wait. Mister, can you please spare a rib? There's just one sauce I want on my bed. Oh, mister, can you please spare a rib?
KC Masterpiece, the sauce that inspires.
Go to KCMasterpiece.com for a chance to meet Tim McGraw at an upcoming concert.
Coming up in just moments on News Channel 5 at 6, a 2-year-old falls headfirst down a forgotten well at his church day school. We'll have the latest on his condition at 6.
Finally, millions will tune in tonight to see which of the two Davids is crowned the next American Idol, Cook or Archuleta. For a performer, it's like winning the lottery, a guarantee of future stardom. Or is it? Ben Tracy takes a listen.
This is American Idol.
With 25 million viewers, this is the biggest show on TV. But if Idol really is, as its infamous Judge Simon says,
this show is about finding a star.
The show has hit some sour notes.
It's all come down to this.
Something tonight's two finalists understand.
I think a lot of people see the show as a golden ticket. I don't think that's the case. You know, now you have to show how you can handle what's given to you.
Past winners Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood made it big, selling nearly 10 million albums apiece and taking home Grammys. But other Idol winners' music careers have become, well, idle. Fantasia Barrino's album sales have plummeted. Ruben Studdard and Taylor Hicks were just dropped by their record labels. So was runner-up Katharine McPhee. Last year's winner Jordan Sparks has yet to set the charts on fire.
And once they're no longer on the TV every week, you kind of forget about them, and then they're back on the same playing field with everybody else who's trying to become a pop star.
Some critics say the fact that a guy like Taylor Hicks could win the show but then flop here at the record store is evidence that American Idol is really more of a personality contest than one based on real talent. Chris Daughtry lost to Hicks, but his debut album has gone multi-platinum. He's aware some think Idol contestants get a free ride to stardom.
A lot of it comes across as great karaoke singers. It doesn't, you don't know their background. You don't know how long they've actually been doing it.
Idol producers wouldn't comment on the show's track record, but last year one Idol judge put it this way.
Listen, it's just a reality show. People have to get over themselves.
Even if the reality is that a lot of Idol fame is fleeting. Ben Tracy, CBS News, Hollywood.
And that is the CBS Evening News. I'm Katie Couric. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
A horrible accident involving a 2-year-old at a Middle Tennessee day school.
And new details from the woman who says she was kidnapped, attacked, and robbed in the parking lot of a YMCA. Plus,
a young teen claims she was raped on the school bus. Today, she testified in front of a judge and the alleged suspect.
Also, tough times for many local families. Why they're having a hard time getting help these days.
And a mid-state church races the clock to bring Father's Day to thousands of soldiers in Afghanistan. Will they make it? The news is now.
From your news and information leader, Tennessee's first and only local news in high definition. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. A horrible accident at a local day school.
A 2-year-old nearly drowned. Tonight he's in critical condition at Vanderbilt.
It happened at the Hillview Baptist Church Day School in Goodlettsville. News Channel 5's Mark Bellinger is live there tonight. Mark, how could something like this have happened?
Well, that's a good question. Metro Police, as you said, are calling this an accident right now. Now, sometime today, this happened about, well, around the noon hour. This child